So here in the BuQeye State, we had the outskirts of the hurricane we're still dealing with. Yesterday it was ridiculously windy, 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts. You can see the yard. I've gotten the barbecue pavilion blown off, but it's an absolute mess out here and gonna rain for the next 4 or 5 days, I think. We lost our internet yesterday, so it's been out about 18 hours, hoping that comes back soon. But it's not going to stop us from cooking. Today we're going to do some deli roast beef on the Weber Kettle. So we're going to go up there and get it lit, and then we'll get our beef ready. It's going to be a really simple cook. So let's get started. All right, here's what we have. Go ahead and open this vent so I don't forget later. I've got about, I don't know, a third of a chimney full of charcoal briquettes and B&B prime charcoal, and I've got some unlit there, so we're just going to light this chimney. Matter of fact, move it over just a little bit. We'll light this chimney. Couldn't find my actual flame, so I'm using this electric lighter, but it should work. There we go. Okay, so we're going to get the chimney down, let these coals start to burn, and then we're just going to dump them on the pile of charcoals in the back there. We're going to do 2-zone cooking, so all of our charcoal will be back here, and generally we will cook the beef on this side. Going to shoot for a target temperature in the cooker, 325 to 375. Honestly, I'm not that worried about the temperature. Don't want it to spike up too high, but we should be able to keep it in that 325 to 375 range pretty easily. So let's get in and get our beef ready, and we'll bring you right back. All right, so what we're using today is an eye of round, just a small one. It's what they had, and this will be fine. So I'm going to cut this kind of gross hard fat off the sides. Try not to take a ton of meat. This kind of fat isn't going to really render in the time this is going to cook. So there's no basting of this meat with its own fat. So we're just going to, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we're just going to try to get a lot of that off. I like the eye of round, and you can see it right here because the grain just runs straight across it. So when we slice this way, we're going to be cutting against the grain and get some good tender pieces, hopefully. This is also great for jerky because the fat content inside is not that much. A couple of pieces of silver skin here, we'll just try to get those. Now, this is tapered on one end, and you can see that. So we're going to go for an internal temperature in the thickest part at around 130, 132. Probably carry over to 135-ish, which is a nice upper side of medium rare, which is the way I like this. So this down here is going to cook to a lot warmer temperature. So I'm just going to take that off. And the dog's got a nice surprise coming, and he has no idea. So I'll fry that up for him. May as well get the rest of this fat trimmed off here. All right, that's going to be pretty good there. All right, so we're just going to season the outside of this. I've got some Malcolm's King Craw here. It's his Cajun seasoning. I love the How to Barbecue Right stuff, especially the King Craw. So we're just going to season around the outside, as Chef John would say, around the outside, around the outside. If you haven't checked out Chef John on Food Wishes, he's pretty good. And some of this will get on the board, so we'll try to use that for our ends, not waste anything. Kind of get the sides here too. All right, that's going to be pretty good. So our grill is heating up right now, or the charcoal is going. So we're going to let that go for probably 15 minutes, get out there and dump it, and then get this nice piece of beef on and make some deli roast beef. So we'll bring you back. Okay, so the rain is back, but we're under the pavilion. We're going to get this charcoal dumped. Grabbing my gloves here. Get this charcoal dumped on the unlit, and then we're going to let the grill come up to temperature. So I didn't let this fully ash over. I really kind of want it to do that on top of these unlit coals. There we go. And now I've got to find a good place to put this. Here we go. And I'm just going to use my tongs and get some of this lit stuff up. There we go. And I'm going to get a piece or two of smoking wood on this too. I forgot to bring it out, but we're going to grab that before we put the beef on. And now we're just going to drop the grate on. All right, there we go. So we're going to let the grill come up to temperature. I've got this right now kind of about not quite halfway, maybe halfway-ish. And I got the lid wide open. So when this gets up to about 300, I'm gonna dial it back and let it ease up a little more. And then we'll bring you back. We'll get this deli roast beef going. See you in a few. All right, so our cooker is sort of leveling off right up at 300. Not quite there yet, but close enough. I've dialed the vents back to about halfway on each. We'll see, I might need to even decrease that. And we're gonna get our beef on. So I'm gonna use this rack to cook it on and just make it easier to take it off. And I've got the combustion ink probe so we can monitor the temperature the whole time. I'm not even sure I'll open this until it gets up to temperature. I could decide to turn it, but I think we're gonna get a good even cook either way. So we'll see. If I open it, I'll bring you back. Notice I've got the vent opposite the coals. We want that because we want that heat and that smoke to travel up over. And I've got about 3 pieces of apple wood in there, which is just what I had on hand. So I think I'm gonna do this for now. And there we go. So we'll get this closed up, and we'll bring you back at least one time, even if I don't turn it, and we'll go from there. So see you in just a few. Okay, so we're 80-something degrees internal. So I think I am gonna go ahead and look at this, possibly turn it. We'll see. But we'll give you one peek in the middle here. Whew. Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to turn it. I'm also going to get a little further away from the fire. So we'll just flip it like that. And there's our good looking piece of roasting beef. Roast beast. All right, there we go. We're gonna get this lid closed. Get that vent over the beef. We're running about 340 degrees internal. So I'm gonna back this off a little bit. I don't want it to spike. So just back it off just a little bit, and we'll keep watching this and go from here. See you in a little while. All right, we're at 129 degrees. This is gonna be coming off any second. So let's take one last look. Looking good. Nice piece of roast beef there. Can't wait to get this inside. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna take this rack off, and I'm gonna loosely tent this with foil for at least 15 or 20 minutes. and then we'll cut into it. So I'm gonna cut the video off here and get the camera inside and get ready to slice into this. So we'll see you inside in just a few minutes. Okay, so we've been resting now about 20 minutes or so. You saw on my combustion ink probe that we were, it ended up at 134, which is perfect as far as I'm concerned. But that nice carryover heat while it's been under the foil was great. I'm going to use my brisket knife to slice this. We'll see how it does. I don't think I've used it for something like this. But here is our roast beef. So I'm afraid that probe is still hot, so I want to be careful. So what we want to do is we want to slice it end to end this way because that's the way the grain is running. So we're just going to take the end off. Try to get as thin as possible. Look at that color. Hope that's coming through on the camera. It's really pretty. Perfectly done. That indirect heat, making sure it's pink all the way through. Let me hold up a piece of this. That looks so good. I'm gonna go ahead and try a bite. That's good. So don't go spend $8 or $9 a pound on that deli roast beef. Just grab yourself a eye of round, throw it on the cooker. You can do this on a pellet cooker, the kettle like I did. I've done this on an offset before. Get you a good sharp knife, or if you have a slicer, that's even better. So there we go. There's our deli roast beef. I'm gonna get a thumbnail and call this video. So thanks for joining. We will see you next time at BuQeye BBQ. And if you don't mind liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you're not already, I'd appreciate it. We'll see you next time.